Today we're going to look at upgrades for this guitar, the Ibanez RG652AHM. I've actually owned this guitar for 2, maybe 3 years, but it hasn't received much attention. Almost as soon as I got it, my band started recording a single, so I had to turn all my attention to my 7 strings to make sure they were ready for the recording. But this is a beautiful looking, great playing guitar. There are some upgrades I want to do to it just to make it a little bit better. The first thing I want to change are the pickups. This guitar comes standard with Dimarzio, Tone Zone and Air Norton humbuckers. And they're adequate, they're decent, but I do think there are better aftermarket pickups that would suit this guitar a little bit better. I normally swear by Bareknuckle or Lundgren pickups, but I wanted to try something a little bit different with this. So I've placed an order with All City pickups for their Blackbird model. It's the ceramic version, it's got a weird name, I can't quite remember it at the minute, but they're going to replace these Dimarzios and I'm going to try and show what a difference they make. There's not a great deal of audio demos online for All City, so we'll see how they compare to the Dimarzios in as best of a side-by-side comparison as I can manage. So I'm going to record something on this guitar as it is now. The strings are relatively new. The pickups are made to order, so they'll arrive in a few weeks, so don't be surprised if in this video my beard gets longer or shorter, because it's going to be a few weeks apart. I'm going to try and use the same generic patch for both examples. It's just a generic 5150 style amp, slightly up on the treble and mids, down the bass, bright switch on. Drive's just under 4, and there's a tube screamer with the drive down, the level up, going into a V30 cab. It's now several weeks later. I got in contact with All City Pickups and asked for a set of Blackbird Ulfbehrs. I spoke to Ash and asked if he could put black pole pieces in, which he did for me. On the website you'll notice there's Blackbirds and a second type called the Blackbird Ulfbehrt. The only difference is the Ulfbehrt has a ceramic magnet in the bridge pickup, which is something I generally go for metal guitar. As you can see, they have transparent pickup bobbins which show the coil winding underneath the copper coil. I think they look great and I really like how they look in this guitar in particular. So I'm going to have a little play about with the generic 6160 patch which I use with the Dimarzios, see how it sounds and get a first impression. And then do a side-by-side comparison with the little track that I recorded with the Dimarzios before they were taken out. One thing to be aware of is that the screw length is quite long on these. It's coming into my Axe and it's clipping the input very slightly, although I don't think there's any clipping on the DI. So I might not have too much room to adjust these, but we'll see. For now, let's just see how they sound. try some leads on the neck picker. My first impression is really positive. There's loads more attack in these. I think there's a lot more clarity across the strings and they just feel a bit more responsive. I might try just lowering the bridge pickup slightly to see if that makes much difference. But generally speaking, pretty much what I was after. Let's look at a side-by-side comparison of these pickups versus the old Dimarzios. The track I'm using is just Get Good Drums with turbo mode turned on, a bass with no processing. The rhythm guitars have a left and right pan track with a bridge pickup. The cleans were done on the old Dimarzio, so the comparison is just the bridge pickup rhythm parts. Other than that, there's no EQ or compression going on. There's just a stereo bus compressor on the master bus. Let's take a listen. So I recorded some DIs just to give a general impression of what's actually coming out of the guitar. The first thing you'll see is that the Dimarzios are way weaker than the All Cities. The All Cities are coming in much hotter. So to give a fairer comparison, I'm just going to raise these up by 8 and 3 dB respectively. Now what I can't do is skip back and forth between these and screen record this and play the audio. So what I'm going to have to do is just give my impressions and then play it through so you guys can see how these sound. My first impressions are that I will need to lower the Oil City down slightly. There's just a little bit of input clipping, nothing I'm particularly worried about, but I can tidy that up a little bit. The Oil Cities are much smoother sounding to me and they've got much more clarity in the top end. The neck pickup is much brighter as well, I think. So let's bring up a frequency analyzer so you can look as well as here. Here we go. Yeah, so again, my first impressions are that the Oil Cities are stronger pickups. They just sound a little bit fuller and fatter across the frequency spectrum, and I particularly like how they sound in the top end. I think just getting that pickup height right to sort out that slight clipping issue is going to make these really usable. And the demo you heard earlier was using like a generic 5150 style amplifier, not the kind of thing that I would normally use myself. So again, there's more tweaking to be done here. I'm not done with this guitar yet. I want to add a high mass bridge and some other cosmetic things. So let me know what you thought of the Oil Cities. Quite a lot of people have quite a lot of good things to say about them. I'm very happy with the ones that I've got. But let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.